Alright, what are the differences between static site generation, SSG, versus incremental site regeneration, ISR, and how do you use them in Next.js 13? Let's find out. Alright, let's get right into it. So what is SSG? Right, static site generation, you can think of it as building your fetch data and HTML once, right? Just once, right, into a page, and then we'll just reuse that output from that page until the next rebuild, right? So if you're using SSG, a good application will be for blog posts, and SSG does boast the best performance, right, as compared to things like ISR or even SSR, yeah. Alright, so over here, if you look at our VS Code right above me, okay, we have created 3 different functions, right? Mainly get data SSG for SSG and get data ISR or ISG. Yeah, let me just change that so that you don't get confused. Alright. Okay, so we're going to start things off with this get data SSG. So what it does, or what the 3 functions does, are basically more or less the same, but they will fetch in 3 different ways, right? The endpoint that we created here, right? So basically what this does is it just returns hello, next.js, yeah? That's about it. Right, so remember what I just mentioned about SSG, about how it builds, right, once, yeah, the data and the HTML once. Yeah, so, okay, now if we look to the right, to the left, yeah. Yeah, so notice that now it says hello, next.js. Yeah, so if we go to the endpoint here, and let's say if we change this to after 10 seconds, yeah, and we refresh the page, yeah, no matter how much we refresh, it will not change, yeah. That is because, okay, right now in our homepage or /home, okay, we're using a server component here, yeah, we are calling the get data SSG. Yeah, so this is using SSG, right? You can see over here, okay, we are using the fetch API in Next.js 13, and we are saying, hey, cache this. Yeah, so by setting this, right, so this is similar as what you would do in Next.js 12, right, using get static props for SSG. Yeah, so if you do this, yeah, this will not change, yeah, because it has already been built once. Alright, so maybe you might think, hey, I might want to update this blog post every once in a while, or maybe this is not for a blog post, or maybe this is for a product, right? A product that you might change its description, yeah, maybe from time to time. So in those types of scenarios, yeah, you might want to consider using ISR, right, incremental site regeneration. So the main difference between this and SSG is, right, instead of caching and forcing the cache, right, which means that things will not change, right, you revalidate the cache, right, by setting a number. Over here, this is 10 seconds. Yeah, so watch what happens when we comment this out and change to the ISR version. So if I save this, yeah, so notice that now all the way to the left, right, the app has changed, right? Now it says hello next.js, right, after 100 seconds after fetch. So if we go back to the API here, right, so that seems like a typo. Yeah, so right now, right, looks like the app has updated. Okay, but if we change it to say 100 seconds, yeah, notice that, okay, let's change it to 200 seconds and save. Notice I refresh 3 times, but it still says 100 seconds, but wait a while. Yeah, so after refreshing around 5 times, yeah, so that's around 10 seconds, right? It changed from 100 seconds to 200 seconds, yeah. So that is what essentially ISR does. Yeah, you can set a time, and after which, for example, every 10 seconds, yeah, you revalidate the cache, right, to get the latest version. Yeah, so this is one of the biggest difference between ISR and SSG. Yeah, you might want to use both of them depending on what you're using your app to do, yeah, to achieve, yeah. And last but not least, we have SSR, yeah, server-side rendering. So for example, if we change this, right, to the SSR version, yeah. So what this does is, right, same thing here. We are using the fetch API with Next.JS 13, but we are totally not caching at all. So what happens here is, if we change the data here in the endpoint, yeah, if we change it to 300, right, notice that the app updates immediately, yeah. So if I change it to 400, same thing, 500, save, yeah, notice that the change is almost instant, yeah. So there is totally no caching at all, yeah. So SSR, right, ISR, and SSG, right, all three of them have their various purposes depending on what you need to use them for, yeah. All right, hopefully that was helpful to help you understand the main differences between ISR and SSG, yeah. And as always, if you feel that this was helpful, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay awesome and stay safe. Cheers, man.